What if the real secret to success isn't about working harder, but about working on yourself first? Hi everyone, today we're diving into one of the world's most influential books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, updated in the 30th anniversary edition with Sean Covey. This book isn't just about productivity tips or motivational slogans. It's about a powerful, inside-out approach to life, a way to build lasting success by first shaping your character and your mindset. Stephen Covey makes a bold point: quick fixes, personality tricks, and shortcuts might give temporary results, but true effectiveness comes only when we live by timeless, universal principles: honesty, responsibility, integrity, and service. In this journey, you'll learn the difference between the personality ethic, focused on image, techniques, and appearances, and the character ethic, which is rooted in deep values and principles. And here's the beauty: by aligning your daily habits with these principles, you don't just change your schedule, you transform your relationships, your leadership, and your sense of purpose. So in this video, let's explore the core wisdom of this classic book, and discover how the 7 habits can help you design a life of effectiveness, balance, and true fulfillment.
What if the real secret to success isn't about working harder, but about working on yourself first? Hi everyone. Today we're diving into one of the world's most influential books, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, updated in the 30th anniversary edition with Sean Covey. This book isn't just about productivity tips or motivational slogans. It's about a powerful, inside-out approach to life, a way to build lasting success by first shaping your character and your mindset. Stephen Covey makes a bold point: quick fixes, personality tricks, and shortcuts might give temporary results, but true effectiveness comes only when we live by timeless, universal principles: honesty, responsibility, integrity, and service. In this journey, you'll learn the difference between the personality ethic, focused on image, techniques, and appearances, and the character ethic, which is rooted in deep values and principles. And here's the beauty: by aligning your daily habits with these principles, you don't just change your schedule, you transform your relationships, your leadership, and your sense of purpose. So in this video, let's explore the core wisdom of this classic book, and discover how the 7 habits can help you design a life of effectiveness, balance, and true fulfillment. Have you ever tried a quick fix, only to realize it doesn't last? Like starting a diet, losing weight for a month, then going back to the same habits. Or trying to motivate your team at work with a pep talk, but deep down, nothing really changes. That's exactly what Stephen Covey explains in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, deep problems need deep solutions. Seedling, think about it: if your marriage feels distant, or your career success comes at the cost of your family time, or your employees are unmotivated, no quick motivational quote, no trick, no social band-aid is going to solve it. These are root-level problems. And unless we change at the root, the problems keep coming back. Character versus personality. Covey points out something very important from history. Earlier, success was taught through the character ethic, values like integrity, humility, courage, patience, simplicity, and the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. But after World War I, the focus shifted to the personality ethic: image, charm, techniques, positive attitude, and quick skills. Now, there's nothing wrong with skills, but if they don't sit on a foundation of character, they become superficial. It's like putting perfume on a wound instead of healing it. You may look successful outside, but inside you feel empty, what Covey calls phantom security. For example, a leader who talks about teamwork but secretly only cares about credit. A parent who says, study hard, but never sets an example of discipline. An employee who smiles at the boss but criticizes behind their back. These create fake harmony, not real effectiveness. True, permanent success needs character strength. The way we see the problem is the problem. Here's the big shift: our paradigms, our mental maps, decide how we act. Imagine you're in a new city with a wrong map. No matter how hard you drive, how positive your attitude is, you'll keep getting lost, because the map itself is wrong. Similarly, if your inner map says, other people control my happiness, I can't change until my boss changes, my life depends on luck, then no amount of external fixing will help. You'll keep repeating the same struggles. True transformation, what Covey calls a quantum change, happens only when we correct the map, when we shift our paradigms. Inside-out approach. So what's the answer? Start from the inside. Before you try to fix your boss, your spouse, or your team, fix yourself. Want more trust in your relationship? Be trustworthy first. Want a responsible team? Show responsibility yourself. Want respect from others? Give respect consistently. Covey says, when people live outside in, they feel like victims. I'm stuck because of them, because of circumstances. But when you live inside out, you realize, the change begins with me. Principles are like lighthouses. And here's the most beautiful part. Covey says there are principles that never change, just like gravity in physics. Fairness, honesty, human dignity, service, growth. They are like lighthouses in a storm. They don't move, they guide you. You can choose to ignore them, but you can't escape the consequences. For example, if a company cheats customers, it may profit for a while, but eventually, it collapses. If a leader lies, people follow out of fear, not respect. If you break trust in your family, no amount of gifts can replace integrity. Living by principles brings stability, peace, and effectiveness that lasts, because you're aligned with natural laws of human life. So here's the takeaway: don't chase shortcuts. Don't just polish your image. If you want a life of deep success and real happiness, work from the inside out. Build your character first, and everything else will follow. In life, we all grow through stages, from being completely dependent on others, to standing strong on our own, and finally, to working powerfully together. Stephen Covey calls this journey the maturity continuum. Stage 1. Dependence. This is where we all begin. It's the you paradigm. You take care of me. You didn't help me, so I failed. It's your fault, not mine. When we're dependent, we rely on others for our happiness, our success, and even our sense of self. Children naturally live here, but many adults never fully grow out of it. Stage 2. Independence. The next level is the I paradigm. I can do it. I am responsible. I can choose. This is where you gain self-mastery. You no longer wait for others to carry you. You become self-reliant and proactive. Covey calls this stage the private victory, and it comes from the first 3 habits. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. These habits strengthen your character so you can stand tall on your own. Stage 3. Interdependence. But here's the truth. Independence is not the final destination. The highest level of effectiveness is the we paradigm. We can do it together. We can combine our strengths. We can achieve more together than alone. This is interdependence, the ability to build trust, cooperate, and create results that no individual could create alone. And here's the key: private victory must come before public victory. You can't skip steps. You can't expect strong teamwork if you haven't mastered yourself first. Just like you can't harvest a crop before you plant the seeds. The takeaway: dependence is weakness, independence is strength. But interdependence, that's true power. When you move from you I, we, you unlock the full potential of your relationships, your work, and your life. And that's the maturity continuum, the foundation for the 7 habits of highly effective people. Have you ever said something like, I can't help it, that's just how I am. I'm stressed because of my boss. I'll be happy when things get better. Stephen Covey says, that's a reactive mindset. But if you want real growth, you need to shift to habit 1. Be proactive. Freedom to choose. Covey teaches that between what happens to us and how we respond, there's a space. And in that space, we have the freedom to choose. We're not just products of our genes, our past, or our environment. We have 4 powerful human gifts. Self-awareness, we can reflect on our thoughts and actions. Imagination, we can picture a better future. Conscience, we know what's right and wrong. Independent will, we can act based on values, not moods. These gifts allow us to rewrite our own story. Circle of concern versus circle of influence. Covey explains 2 circles. The circle of concern includes things we worry about, the economy, politics, other people's behavior. The circle of influence includes things we can actually do something about, our habits, our attitude, our choices. Proactive people focus on their circle of influence. They take action, build trust, and grow their impact. Reactive people focus on their circle of concern. They complain, blame, and feel powerless, which shrinks their influence even more. Taking initiative and responsibility. Being proactive means saying, I am responsible for my life. I may not control everything, but I control how I respond. Proactive people don't wait for things to happen, they make things happen. They become solutions, not part of the problem. This applies to individuals, families, teams, and even companies. Love is a verb. Covey gives a powerful example. Reactive people say, "I don't feel love anymore." But proactive people say, "Love is a verb." They act with kindness, patience, and respect, even when they don't feel like it. And over time, those actions rebuild the feeling. They don't let emotions control their values. They let values guide their actions. Making and keeping commitments. One of the strongest signs of a proactive person is this. They make promises, and they keep them. To themselves, to others, even when it's hard. This builds inner strength, self-respect, and trust. Growth mindset. Sean Covey adds that proactivity is backed by science. It's connected to the growth mindset, the belief that we can grow through effort and learning. And to grit, the power of persistence and passion. Proactive people don't wait for perfect conditions. They start where they are, and they keep going. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 1. Don't be a victim of your circumstances. Be the creator of your response. Focus on what you can control. Act with purpose. Keep your promises. And lead your life from the inside out. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. All things are created twice. Covey explains that everything is created twice. First, there's a mental creation, the idea, the plan, the vision. Then comes the physical creation, the actual building or doing. Think of a house. You don't start with bricks. You start with a blueprint. Or a business. You don't launch it randomly. You begin with a business plan. The same applies to your life. If you don't decide what matters most, you may spend your life climbing a ladder, only to find it's leaning against the wrong wall. Leadership versus management. Covey makes a clear difference. Leadership is the first creation. Management is the second. Leadership is about choosing the right direction. Management is about doing things efficiently. He says, leadership is climbing the tallest tree and shouting, "Wrong jungle." If you manage well but lead poorly, it's like organizing deck chairs on a sinking ship. Rescripting your life. Many people live by scripts handed to them, by family, society, or others' expectations. But Covey says we can rescript our lives. Using self-awareness, imagination, and conscience, we can choose a new path. We can align our actions with our deepest values and correct principles. This is personal leadership, deciding who you want to be, and living by that decision. Personal mission statement. Covey encourages everyone to create a personal mission statement. It's like a personal constitution, a guide that doesn't change with moods or trends. It gives you security, because it's based on truth. Guidance, because it shows you the way. Wisdom, because it helps you make good decisions. Power, because it keeps you focused. Your mission statement helps you live each day with meaning. It reminds you what's truly important. Avoiding alternative centers. Many people center their lives around things like money, relationships, pleasure, work, approval, religion, even themselves. But Covey warns, these centers are unstable. They can change, disappoint, or mislead. The best center is principle-centered living. It's based on timeless truths, fairness, honesty, service, and growth. Detecting your mission. Covey shares Viktor Frankl's idea. We don't invent our mission, we detect it. Each person has a unique purpose, something only they can contribute. Your mission is already inside you, waiting to be discovered. Whole brain thinking. To create your mission, use your whole brain. Not just logic, but also imagination and emotion. Covey suggests using affirmations, short, positive statements that are personal, present tense, visual, emotional. These help you picture your best self and move toward it. Roles and goals. Once you know your mission, break it down into roles and goals. For example, as a parent, your goal might be to spend quality time with your children. As a professional, your goal might be to lead with integrity. As a friend, your goal might be to support others in tough times. This gives structure and direction to your life. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 2. Don't live by accident. Live by design. Decide what matters most. Write your own script. Create a mission that inspires you. And make sure every day moves you closer to your vision. Habit 3. Put first things first is all about the second creation. Habit 3 is the physical creation, the action. It's the moment-by-moment living of the vision you created in habit 2. It's where your independent will helps you follow through. You already know what matters. Now, you must live it, even when it's hard, even when it's not urgent. Integrity and discipline. Covey says your ability to follow through depends on personal integrity. That means keeping promises to yourself, doing what you said you would do, even when it's uncomfortable. Successful people don't always enjoy difficult tasks, but they do them anyway, because their purpose is stronger than their excuses. Focus on what's important. Covey introduces the time management matrix, 4 quadrants. Quadrant I, urgent and important, crises, deadlines. Quadrant 2, not urgent but important, planning, relationships, growth. Quadrant 3, urgent but not important, interruptions, distractions. Quadrant IV, not urgent and not important, time wasters, escapes. Most people live in quadrants I and III, always reacting, but effective people focus on quadrant 2, the quiet, powerful zone of growth. They build relationships, they plan ahead, they take care of their health, they feed opportunities and starve problems, saying no to the good for the best. To live in quadrant 2, you must learn to say no. Not because you're rude, but because you have a bigger yes inside. Covey says, the enemy of the best is often the good. You must say no to things that are urgent but not important, so you can say yes to what truly matters. Weekly planning. Covey recommends weekly planning, not just daily to-do lists. Why? Because a week gives you more balance. You can see the bigger picture. You can schedule your priorities, instead of just prioritizing your schedule. Start with your roles: parent, leader, friend, learner. Then set goals for each role. This keeps your life organized and meaningful. People versus things. Covey reminds us, be efficient with things, but effective with people. You can manage your calendar, but you must lead with empathy, patience, and trust when dealing with people. Relationships don't run on deadlines. They grow through connection. Stewardship delegation. Covey introduces a powerful way to delegate, called stewardship delegation. Instead of telling people how to do something, you focus on what needs to be done, and let them choose the method. You agree on desired results, guidelines, resources, accountability, consequences. This builds trust. It empowers people, and it brings out the best. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 3. Don't just be busy. Be intentional. Live your values. Focus on what matters most. Say no to distractions, and build a life that reflects your deepest purpose. Habit 4. Think win-win. Stephen Covey says there's a better way, a mindset called win-win. It's not about winning at the cost of others. It's about finding solutions where everyone benefits. The third alternative, win-win, is based on the idea of a third alternative. It's not your way, it's not my way, it's a better way, a higher way. This mindset comes from the abundance mentality, the belief that there's enough success, love, and opportunity for everyone. It's the opposite of the scarcity mentality, which says, if you win, I lose. People with an abundance mindset don't compete for attention or power. They collaborate, they build trust, they look for shared success. 6 paradigms of interaction. Covey explains that win-win is just one of several ways people interact. Let's look at the others. Win, lose. I win, you lose. This is competitive and often controlling. Lose, win. I lose, you win. This sacrifices self-respect to please others. Lose. If I can't win, you won't either. This is driven by revenge or bitterness. Win, I win, and I don't care what happens to you. This ignores relationships. Win, we both win. This is built on respect, courage, and cooperation. While competition may be useful in sports or business, win is the best approach in relationships and teamwork, where long-term trust matters. Courage and consideration. To live win-win, you need 2 qualities. Courage, to speak your truth, share your needs, and stand for your values. Consideration, to listen deeply, understand others, and care about their needs. It's not about being soft. It's about being strong and kind. Win people don't avoid conflict. They face it, with honesty and empathy. Win or no deal. Sometimes, you can't find a win solution. And that's okay. Covey suggests a powerful option: win or no deal. If both sides can't benefit, they agree to walk away, respectfully. This gives emotional freedom. You don't have to force a bad deal. You can choose to wait for a better opportunity. Systems must support win. Win is not just a personal mindset. It needs support from the systems around us. Covey says, if you put good people in bad systems, you get bad results. For win to work, systems like training, communication, rewards, and planning must support fairness and collaboration. You must water the flowers you want to grow. That means building environments that reward trust, teamwork, and shared success. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 4. Don't settle for win-lose or lose-win. Aim higher, believe in abundance, speak with courage, listen with empathy, and build relationships where everyone wins, together. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Empathic listening. Covey calls this a deep shift in how we listen. Most people listen with the intent to reply. But empathic listening means listening with the intent to understand. It's not just hearing words. You listen with your ears, your eyes, and your heart. You listen for feelings, for meaning, for what's behind the words. This is the highest form of listening. It builds trust. It opens the door to real communication. Diagnose before you prescribe. Covey gives a simple example. Imagine a doctor who gives you medicine without asking what's wrong. You wouldn't trust that doctor. In the same way, we must understand others before offering advice. Before sharing our opinion, we need to truly understand their thoughts, feelings, and needs. Only then can we respond in a way that helps. Avoid autobiographical responses. Most of us respond from our own experience. We evaluate, we advise, we interpret, based on our own story. Covey calls these autobiographical responses. They block real understanding. They make the other person feel unheard. Instead, we must step into their world. See things from their point of view. Let go of our filters, and just listen. Giving psychological air. When we listen empathically, we give people what Covey calls psychological air. It's the space they need to express themselves freely. As trust builds, the barrier between what they feel and what they say disappears. They begin to open up. And that's when real communication begins, soul to soul. Vulnerability and influence. Empathic listening is not easy. It makes us vulnerable. We open ourselves to being influenced. But Covey says, if you want to influence others, you must first be willing to be influenced. This is the heart of leadership, parenting, and relationships. It's not about control. It's about connection, skill, and sincerity. Listening is a skill, but it must come from sincerity. People can tell when you're just pretending to care. They feel it. Covey reminds us, the skill will not work unless it comes from a real desire to understand. People don't want to be fixed. They want to be heard. The impact of technology. Sean Covey adds an important point. Technology has changed how we communicate. Text messages and emails remove tone, facial expressions, and emotion. For serious or emotional conversations, face-to-face or phone calls are better. They allow empathy. They allow presence. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 5. Don't rush to speak. Slow down. Listen deeply. Understand first, then be understood. This habit builds trust. It heals relationships. And it creates space for real change. Habit 6. Synergize. Have you ever worked with someone and created something better than either of you could have done alone? That's the power of synergy. Stephen Covey calls it the highest activity in life. It's when people come together and create something new, something greater than the sum of its parts. The whole is greater than the parts. Synergy means 1 + 1 = 3, or even more. It's not just cooperation, it's creative cooperation. When people truly connect, they don't just compromise. They create new ideas, new solutions, and new possibilities. Valuing differences. The heart of synergy is learning to value differences. People think differently, they feel differently, they see the world through their own experiences. Covey says, people don't see the world as it is, they see it as they are. When we accept this, we become open. We stop judging, we start learning. Complementary teams. Synergy works best in teams where people complement each other. One person may be great at ideas. Another may be great at execution. Instead of competing, they support each other. They run with each other's strengths. They help cover each other's weaknesses. This builds trust, and it leads to better results. Fishing for the third alternative. When people disagree, synergy doesn't settle for compromise. It looks for a third alternative, a better solution than either side first imagined. It's not about winning or losing. It's about transforming the problem into something new, something that works for everyone. Intrapersonal synergy. Before we can create synergy with others, we need synergy within ourselves. That means applying habits 1, 2, and 3. being proactive, having a clear vision, and managing ourselves. It also means using both sides of our brain, the logical, analytical left side, and the creative, intuitive right side. When we balance both, we become more open, more flexible, and more powerful. Believing in better solutions. To find synergy, we must believe that better solutions exist. We must be willing to set aside our ego. We must trust the process of collaboration. Covey says that when we combine our intelligence, our creativity, and our values, we unlock something greater. A simple process for synergy. Covey offers a 5-step process to create synergy. 1. Define the problem or opportunity. 2. Understand their way. Listen deeply. 3. Share your way. Express clearly. 4. Brainstorm new options together. 5. Choose the best solution, the high way. This process helps people move from conflict to creativity. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 6. Don't settle for compromise. Don't fight for your way. Look for a better way. Together, value differences, build trust, and create solutions that none of you could have found alone. That's synergy, and it's one of the most powerful habits of highly effective people. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Have you ever felt tired, burned out, or stuck in a routine? You keep working, pushing, and doing more, but your energy keeps dropping. Stephen Covey says the answer is not to work harder. It's to sharpen the saw. That means taking time to renew yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You are your greatest asset. Habit 7 is about taking care of the most important tool you have, yourself. Covey calls this your personal production capability. If you don't take care of yourself, all the other habits become harder to follow. Renewal makes everything else possible. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. 4 dimensions of renewal. Covey explains that renewal must be balanced across 4 areas. Physical renewal. This means taking care of your body. Eat healthy food. Get enough sleep. Exercise regularly. This builds strength, energy, and discipline, and supports habit 1, being proactive. Spiritual renewal. This is your inner core, your values, your purpose. You can renew spiritually through prayer, meditation, reading inspiring books, or spending time in nature. This gives direction to your life and connects with habit 2, beginning with the end in mind. Mental renewal. This means keeping your mind sharp. Read good books. Write in a journal. Plan your week. This helps you stay focused and organized, supporting habits 2 and 3. Social and emotional renewal. This comes from your relationships. It's about listening, understanding, and working together. It's built by practicing habits 4, 5, and 6, win-win thinking, empathic listening, and synergy. Daily private victory. Covey suggests spending 1 hour a day renewing your body, mind, and spirit. This is a quadrant 2 activity, not urgent, but very important. Over time, it brings powerful results. This daily habit helps you stay strong, focused, and grounded, even in busy or stressful times. The upward spiral. Renewal is not just about rest. It's about growth. Covey calls it the upward spiral, a process of learning, improving, and becoming better every day. As you renew, your conscience becomes stronger. You make better choices. You live with more purpose, helping others grow. Covey also reminds us that we are part of other people's lives. We can choose to reflect back a positive image of them. We can help them see their potential. When we treat people as they can become, they often rise to that level. This is part of being principle-centered and helping others grow. Rule your technology. Sean Covey adds a modern challenge: technology. He says screens and social media are draining our energy and dulling our soars. We must learn to manage technology, not let it manage us. Set boundaries. Create family agreements. Make space for real connection and renewal. Final takeaway. So here's the message of habit 7. Take care of yourself. Renew your body, mind, heart, and spirit. Make time for growth, and help others grow too. Sharpen the saw, and you'll be ready for whatever life brings. As we come to the end of this journey through the 7 habits, there's one powerful truth to remember. These habits are not separate techniques. They are deeply connected, each one strengthens the others. When you grow in one habit, you grow in all. They work together to build a life of character, purpose, and effectiveness. Common sense, but not common practice. Stephen Covey reminds us, these principles are simple to understand, but they are not always easy to live. They require effort, reflection, and consistency. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Step by step, day by day. Integrity is the highest loyalty. Covey teaches that integrity is more than just honesty. It's the highest form of loyalty, not to people or organizations, but to timeless principles. When you live by truth, fairness, and service, you build trust that lasts. You become strong inside, and that strength guides your actions. Life is a mission, not just a career. Covey believed that no success in work can make up for failure at home. True happiness comes from serving others, building relationships, and living with meaning. He encouraged us to live life in crescendo, always growing, always reaching for something higher. Your life is not just a job. It's a mission, a chance to make a difference. Universal and timeless. The 7 habits are not limited to one culture, age, or profession. They apply to everyone: students, parents, leaders, teams, and communities. Why? Because they are based on universal principles. They speak to the human heart. They help us become our best selves. Final message. So here's the final message. Don't just learn the habits. Live them. Be proactive. Lead with purpose. Focus on what matters. Build strong relationships. Listen deeply. Create together. And renew yourself every day. Let your life be guided by principles. Let your mission be bigger than your career. And let your growth be continuous, always moving upward. Thank you for joining this journey. May the 7 habits inspire you to live a life of character, contribution, and true fulfillment.